on a rotating, whirling, twirling rock in space that is just a fantasy in your head.
Comes to a light in the sky being a gas in a vacuum. Second law of thermodynamics violation, a violation of a natural law.
Of the chemtrails, they put little, these nanobot things, that come down, come inside of us.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
We got.
There you go.
Hold on.
Now
Tape's cutting in. We got no audio.
Now do it. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are the Shills, a group of YouTube creators and debunkers coming together for live roundtable chats, live debunks, guests, interviews, and much more. Tonight on the show, we have UFOs in Saturn's rings, Bigfoot sightings, and an unbelievable Creators Corner spotlight that you will love. So, let me turn it over to the ringleader of our crazy little circus, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Bojo.
Thank you very much, Dick Dawson. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. I'm Jim Bojo. This is the Silly Shill Show, and we are the Shills. Thanks once again to Dick Dawson for that magnificent introduction to the show. And first up is introduction, so I think I'll start with you anyway, Dick. How are you doing, Dick?
Well, things are great here, Jim Bojo. Thank you. And yourself, my friend.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Now, have you got anything coming in the upcoming week that you want to tell people about, or maybe in the near future at any rate?
Well, we've on World Model Feud, we have just about finished the reboot of the game show and the talk show variety.
Sweet.
We're so close. We're so close. So it really will be out in just a matter of days now. And I have a couple of new songs that will be posted very soon. One I did for Anthony Bailey on his fantastic new channel. Everybody check that out, Anthony Bailey. And that will be posted up really soon too. So there's lots coming up. It's going to be very good.
Oh, well, that's great news. Yeah, Anthony Bailey's got his new channel's called Stone Hard Bread, and I can recommend it as well. Ever since he brought out the introduction to it, I just thought this guy's going to be brilliant, and he's getting into the swing of it nicely. You should definitely get along there and have a look at it. Next on the list, we've got Anti-Flatter in the room. How are you doing in the future, mate?
Hey, kia ora, bro. It's all good out here. How you getting on, man?
Excellent stuff. Well, what are you doing at the moment? Have you got any news or videos or anything coming out in the near future you want to tell people about?
So my first anti-vax style video came out not too long ago. But as far as stuff on the pipeline goes, I've got a big trip planned where I'm going to try and map it out, but we'll see how that works out first.
Oh, very intriguing stuff. Oh, well, I look forward to hearing about that then. Let's see, next on the list, our resident caveman, Log Trog. How are you doing today, mate? It's the logical troglodyte.
Oh, it's a wonderful day in the cave. How's it going with you, Jimbo?
Oh, yeah, lovely and sunny here too as well. Now, have you got any work coming out that you want to tell people about before we move on?
Oh, I'm still trying to coordinate the six-way collaboration with Jack and the Beanstalk spoof. But was trying to get 6 people together. It takes a little time. But between now and then, Babes is going to be coming out with an episode of the Troglodyte News. And so that should hopefully entertain everybody and inform everybody until we get Jack up and running.
Oh, yeah, exciting stuff. I look forward to listening to that.
Have we lost Jimbo, maybe? I think we lost Jimbo for a second there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we do. There we go.
It sounds like you lost connection. I could see you all and hear you all. God knows what happened there. Okay, well, who's next on the list? We've got Jutt Monk the Drunk Monkey. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Not as pissed as I was last week.
Oh, I don't know if that's good news or bad news. We'll see, I suppose. So what have you got in the pipeline right now?
Well, actually, I had a video done and dusted, a collaboration with Sean Hawkins on Danny Pratt. But
Oh yeah,
because he was leaving us, wasn't he? He put out his farewell video. So
sure.
I had a little dig at him, and I thought, yeah, a little dig and a farewell. Oh, best of luck. You know, you're doing the right thing. Fuck off, sort of thing.
Sure.
Then he goes. So I'm about to literally within the next 12 hours put this video online, and he fucking pipes up with another video. So I put it on hold. I'm gonna let the video play out, and then I'm gonna roast his fucking ass big time afterwards.
Fantastic. That's brilliant news, man. I look forward to that. Right now, let's see. We've got AB Science somewhere in the room. Are you there at the back?
Oh, yes, I am here.
Lovely stuff. Now, I've seen some of the work you've been putting out recently. Those thought experiments about the heating of the different surfaces, be it globe or flat, that was genius work, sir. Is there anything else you want to tell people about in the upcoming time period?
Well, yeah, I just dropped a video about 7 hours ago, something like 8 hours ago, where we actually look at a bit of magnetism and the magnetism of planet Earth. Now I have already uploaded another video. It is scheduled to be released later on next week, and I'm trying something new.
Okay.
I'm exploring the idea of let's take flat earthers seriously.
Are you sure that's a wise idea?
And take their experiments and subject them to peer review.
Lovely. That'll be fun.
So first up will be Nathan Oakley and his angle of attack bullshit. And I will be looking at some of the hallway experiments and what they would need to do to actually make it a valid experiment. And I would be generous, and I performed it as well for them.
Nice. Well, what a gentleman you are. Fantastic, man. Firstly, that's going to be really interesting. I think everyone's going to want to see that. And secondly, thank you for bringing a level of highbrow science and class to this show that otherwise might not necessarily be there.
There's nothing highbrow or classy about it. It's a fucking light in the hallway.
All right, fair enough. Point made. Right, also with us today, working the levers and buttons on our supercomputer is our super producer, Look-a-Pig, and we've got the ever popular Turquoise Laura, who you all know and love. Now, you can send your comments and questions to her throughout the show. She's going to make sure we get them so that we can read them out and answer them as time goes on. Now, that's the whole gang except for me. You know me, I'm Jim Bozo. I talk to people, but this week I'm going to shell out for something. You see, I've done an interview with BM Furball and Blue Earth Thing, which I am extraordinarily proud of. Now, it's not to say I'm not proud of all my other interviews, people like Belgian Bastard and all the people preceding, some of the people even on this panel, but the BM Furball one and the Blue Earth Thing in particular, I'm very, very happy with, and no one seems to have noticed them yet, so please go out and watch them. Right, that's me done, basically. I'm going to give you the list, the rundown of what we're going to be looking at. We've got a bit of a miasma for you. We've got Bigfoot, which is great, because actually I'm still not convinced it doesn't actually exist, so maybe, just maybe today, we'll have a sight of something that's actually true for once, and we won't be able to debunk it on this show. We've also got some UFO silliness, which apparently aliens are gathering in the rings of Saturn or something along those lines, so that'll be a bit of a laugh. And of course we've got the new Creators Corner, where we'll have Jeff Spikers, otherwise known as Steaming Cup of Reason. He's going to tell us about his new channel in the video that he's creating. So once more to Dick Dawson, I'm going to hand you over because he's going to tell us a bit more about what we're looking at first.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, up first, we have, as usual, on the Silly Shill Show, some right crazy ridiculous for you, and we're going to have a blast with this. So let's all dig in as we look at some Bigfoot sightings. Let's take it away.
Number 15, Independence Day sighting. This footage was apparently filmed on Independence Day. It shows a Bigfoot walking into frame, looking at the camera, and then picking up a baby before running off into the distance.
I think I'm going to have to stop you there, Pig, actually, if I may. The reason being, I can't see it. It's not being presented to us in screen at all. So there's literally no way I can tell you whether or not what I'm looking at is real or false. Now, I've worked through them once before, but I'm going in a bit blind. So is there any chance we could have it up and then watch it again? Lovely. Thank you ever so much. That's brilliant. All right. Thanks very much, mate. That's fine. It's all right. We're all very new at this. Don't you worry.
The Bigfoot seems to be nervously looking at the person holding the camera, therefore saving its baby and running away. Movement can also be seen from the baby as it hugs and pushes away from the adult. Some people have pointed out that they could see facial movement from the adult Bigfoot as well. Others say that CGI has been...
That's my fucking uncle and my cousin. She's just getting some beer and she's coming back home, for fuck's sake. Oh, dear me.
I'm not the only one who thinks that looks very much like a bloke in a suit, right?
Yeah.
I've got a custom tailored Jedi outfit for when my son and I go out for Halloween and whatnot each year.
Well, you win being a nerd, then, don't you? Blimey.
Yeah. You know, I'll stake my claim right here and right now.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, my outfit looks way better than that. There, some say there is CGI at play here. You don't need CGI to do that. I mean, I can almost see the zippers.
Yeah, I think he's got a seam round his neck. That's a little bit of a giveaway, isn't it? I feel sorry for the poor kid as well. Clearly, they've dressed up some poor toddler in a baking hot suit.
That's probably just a fucking gorilla teddy, mate.
Do you think so? He's just got a soft toy. Yeah, I like that.
He won it at the fair and he said, I know, I got a gorilla fucking costume at home. Let me whack it on and let's run around the park and you can film me at the same time. And then they put it on the internet for a fucking laugh. And now someone has picked up on it and gone, oh, look, yeah, this is real. No, it's a fucking joke, you dickhead.
Oh, look, great. A very long distance and surprisingly steady shot. I mean, it doesn't look like the guy just whacked his camera out. It's almost moving like it's on a bloody tripod. And what's this about seeing facial movements? Based on exactly what? 4 pixels? I think not.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to address that. You know, I think that's the case of people seeing what they want to see. I have slowed that down. I have tried to up the resolution, everything, every which way in the last couple of days. I can't see anything of that face.
Right.
Mr. Logical Troglodyte, you're telling me you spent a couple of days on this video?
I spent a couple of days. Yes, I did. I mean, I'm retired. I got nothing else better to do but play with stupid.
I think it's a suck button.
Wow.
Look at that.
I guess so, sir.
Right, let's roll on, please.
That they could see facial movement from the adult Bigfoot as well. Others say that CGI has been used in the video, but this is one of the few videos deemed real by the people who have made in-depth analysis videos on the footage.
Hold on a sec. In-depth analysis of the footage. Are you kidding me?
6 hours on YouTube, mate. That was 6 hours.
If you zoom in,
hold
on here. If you zoom in, you get less pixels out of that fucking suit gorilla thing's face than you do if you were to look at a galaxy with an age of about 12.5 billion years old in the universe or in the you know, I mean, come on. You can't be spewing crap like this when what is the old thing? You don't throw stones from the glass houses. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Absolutely.
Curve Pimp in the chat wants to know: do furries believe in flat Earth Bigfoot?
That's an excellent question.
I think only the ones that have the last name Pratt do.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
If you lot keep me laughing like this, I'm never going to be able to control what's happening. Right, let's roll on with the video. Come on.
Let's kick it.
Number 14. Bigfoot GoPro sighting by dog. In this video, a man had strapped a GoPro camera to his dog, which then
Hold on. This is just a quick one, because I'll shut up in a minute here. But my God, Bigfoot sighting by dog. How do you take that seriously?
I'd say that cameraman barking
The
mad.
dog come back and said, "Bigfoot's round there. I'm fucking out of here."
Fancy platter. I didn't quite hear that, mate. What was that?
I'd say that cameraman that they've got using now is barking mad.
Oh, that's our minimum quoted dad joke for the day. Thank you for that.
That's the one.
AB Science, I just trampled you. What was that, mate?
I was just saying that did not warrant repeating.
I do apologise. Right, let's move
let's
over.
let it roll.
Filmed the sighting of Bigfoot in the woods. The video simply shows the dog walking through the grassy woods when a figure suddenly runs by.
It's just a guy.
It's the same guy in the same fucking costume.
I don't know, but I don't know if he's even in a costume. I mean, I wouldn't bother stopping the video. Let it just keep playing, but
The
you don't
creature
really
stands
see.
up
It's
on
just a guy with a backpack. There's a guy. Am I the only one who thinks that? Can someone else see fur? I just see a guy in an anorak with a backpack.
It's just a shadowy figure, and he needs to lose weight. He's bigger than me.
What that is. That's just a. I tell you exactly what that is. That is a person standing there.
Yeah.
It's a Pratt sighting.
Sighting of human by dog. Stop the press.
Well done.
Yeah.
What are the chances, eh?
Can I point out, if that is a suit, right? If that is a person in a suit, and I have just misseen it, has anyone else noticed something very curious about the speed that dog's walking at? Like, because if this dog's supposedly just off running the local woods, he's walking at about man pace as if he had a leash on. It's bizarre, almost like he had a shoulder mount on or something. Like, why did he just stop suddenly?
That is a hoodie standing there, right? That's just a fucking hoodie standing there, and he's like, "Oh fuck this, man! Some old geezer, and I want to go and have a cigarette." So he's just
in it then. I
Or
want to go off the
spliff,
side
or
and have a
whatever.
spliff here.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna do it in front of this old geezer with his fucking doll.
If that was my dog, he'd be running up looking to get his belly scratched. I mean, he wouldn't just be walking, you know.
Absolutely. Right, let's play on, because we've got a few more clips to get through, and I want to see all of them before we have to move on.
The creature stands up on two legs like a human would, but also appears hairy and ape-like.
Because it is a human.
Man spots a guy in the forest.
Number 13, albino Bigfoot. A homeowner captured this footage after they heard a disturbance in the backyard of their wooded property. This homeowner and others in this town had previously heard strange noises and disturbances for the last 2 weeks or so. Prior to this being captured on film, the town was confirmed as Carbondale, Pennsylvania. In the video, someone seems to be running around in a wooded area in a stressed manner.
Can anybody say Blair Witch Project?
Yeah, right. Could you try pointing the flashlight and the camera in the same direction for like 5 seconds? That would be nice. You have to work hard to get this low quality footage, don't you? I mean, it takes real effort.
Then when he hears...
Here we go.
Oh, the best sightings always are a bag of shit.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, they have...
Never 4K, is it?
What's that, Flatter?
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
I know. It's now
Well,
Brino. What do you think it is?
Well,
don't
don't
you
you
know-
know to call it cryptozoology as if it was somehow fucking science?
It
Don't
looks
you
like
guys
somebody
know-
stumbling around their basement during a power outage, man.
Right? Trog, sorry, what was that, mate?
Don't you guys know that Bigfoot has a superpower? He has a built-in genetic invisibility cloak, and that messes with the cameras so that if they do sight him, it's always low resolution, high grain.
Right, absolutely. It actually makes him look further away as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be shooting 10 feet away and it actually looked like he was a smudge in the distance. It's really unfortunate, those poor guys, because they're definitely real sightings. This one's an albino one. Like, that's a fucking thing. Like, there's enough of a population of these things out there to support a genetic variance that would survive like that. Like, fuck. I'm sorry. That's not really how it works, I'm afraid, lads.
And all the shills said, "For fuck's sake!"
Haha, yeah, do you know what that means? That means everyone in the chat. Take a drink!
Okay, that's something that needs to be clarified to the chat, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if anyone brought that up. If you
We
are in the
didn't.
chat and you hear the phrase "for fuck's sake" uttered by anyone, all you need to do is get hold of that flask of alcohol and take a nice big swig. Hopefully, we won't kill any of you by the end of the show. Right, I think we can crack on.
Got mine in. I'm good. Let's do it.
Then, when he hears a loud noise near him, he captures on the camera what appears to be an albino Bigfoot. The audio cuts off and the clip ends abruptly soon after.
Hold on,
Of
that
course it
is
does.
classic pareidolia. Sorry, go on.
Isn't an albino Bigfoot a Yeti?
Well, you'd think.
Yeah, isn't that the only part of the description that matters between Bigfoot and Yeti is the white part. So yes,
But I mean, this is painfully a case of pareidolia, right? This is seeing the face on Mars or seeing Jesus in a slice of cheese on toast. What you have there is an arrangement of slightly darker things that look almost like the arrangement of a face, and with the outline produced by the flashlight of the torch, it does give this impression of a sort of vaguely Yeti-like sort of feature. I'll admit that happily, but you'll also notice that by that shape, he's got a massive.
Or it could be a Halloween mask sitting on a pile of rocks.
No,
I mean,
no,
exactly.
Here's the thing you guys are missing, right? Is it actually moves, so it is someone wearing the mask, right?
Oh.
Watch and pull.
No. It looks like Father Christmas.
There, see, he moves.
Oh yes, it is. It's a thing that's moving. You're quite right.
Yeah.
So it does.
So
move.
what we
It
found out
turns
is
its head.
it's another dude in a
But
suit.
if you look carefully, right, you can see some skin in the hole.
It also looks like Father Christmas.
The camera what appears to be an albino Bigfoot. The audio cuts off and the clip ends abruptly soon after.
Totally, someone wearing a mask. I mean, there's not even any reflective eyes. Come on.
Yeah, you can see that. You see it's a mask. It's one of
Yeah,
those
you
masks
can see a
put
guy
over
moving
your
there.
head.
Absolutely.
To the
Put it
next.
over your head. Big rubber thing.
Well, this is it. Actually, no, before we move on very quickly, sorry, I just want to point out, I don't know how many of
can
you
see
people
it
have
round
seen
there.
nature documentaries. I assume you have seen nature documentaries, right? Well,
Yes, and you can see the eyes. As soon as you get that
Indeed.
light, boom,
Teams of
eyes straight
specialists
away.
manage to get really close to animals and see all of their features and watch the mouth moving and all of it. Even animals that are terrified of humans and would sprint the second they saw them. It's not hard to track an
No.
animal. There's a thing called hunting. So
Yeah.
how is it so fucking hard to get one clean shot of this thing from a distance with a telephoto lens? Please tell me.
If you was fit and able, and I can track fucking anything, man. I've done hunting and tracking. I love it.
Sure.
And if you can do that, you wouldn't, something like that, you would not lose it if you didn't want to. Unless you'd only lose it if it was bigger, stronger, had more stamina, and then it was a waiting game. But you'd never fucking lose it, you know? You might not keep up with it, but you would. So these people are like film it and then it's gone and never to be seen. I'd be like, if I couldn't track something, I'd fucking go and get someone who could. Luckily, I'd get my uncle who taught me to do it. So,
how hard can it be to get a professional at this sort of thing? Sorry, what did you want to say there, mate?
That's
it was
the
AB,
thing,
wasn't
right?
it?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You have to think that humans are the most efficient hunters that evolution has managed to produce. So how the fuck could we not figure this thing out?
Yeah, possibly the shark. But
I mean,
I'm with you there. Exactly.
Well, no, we are better hunters than shark.
and I'll tell you why AB's right. Because why chase an animal when you can merely set a few traps and wait?
Or even when you can
know?
domesticate them. Ultimately, that's what our real winning move was, like growing the animals and food at home instead of hunting them at all.
Yeah, but if you look at it from, I mean, the current kind of best theory kind of suggests that actually, you know, our success at hunting actually resulted in us being able to do that, right? If we look at everything about our design, we are bipedal, we've got forward-facing eyes, we've got
absolutely,
you know, we've got an intelligence that far outstretches any other animal out there. And actually everything suggests that we are the best hunters. You know, we are the animals that have exceptional stamina. If you look at the design in the arches of the feet and how your Achilles tendons are designed, we are purely designed for hunting, but we're not good at the short sprinting hunting that we're familiar with, that sharks and jaguar and stuff like that.
I think, to be honest, if I'm entirely fair, it was somewhat of a throwaway comment because we've all seen the stuff about how they can smell a drop of blood in a billion liters of water. But I mean, I take the point absolutely. Humans have proven to be the most successful species.
Yeah, but hold on. Go back to that for a second. There does seem to be a disconnect when it comes to the biology of evolution and specialization of predators, because if you look up like the cheetah, who's got the super sprint down to a science, no chance they can keep up with the human endurance and whatnot. You know, we are specialized in a very different way, so you can't have pure endurance. But man, because of the smarts, we have the patience and we have the endurance, right?
Absolutely. That's the thing, right? If you have a cheetah who's going for, you know, after they've done 2 or 3 runs in a day to try and capture a prey, and you got to remember their success rate is about 10%. Once they've done 3 runs in a day, they are spent. They have not got energy left. They need to recover, and we can keep going.
That's right.
Well, look, before this turns into a full-blown nature documentary, we've got a couple of bits of video left to go through that I really want to push onto. So that's all right.
Hold on. Hey, where's Corporal Felix when you need him, right? Okay, let's keep on. Yeah.
He could have come in and told us everything.
Totally. Okay, Peggy Roller.
12 Sasquatch spotted in the mountains. When a couple were hiking on a logging road above one of the lakes in Mission, BC, they took photos of the beautiful views and suddenly spotted something moving on the top of a hill. They were able to zoom in to capture the footage of a hairy ape-like creature. The creature can be seen walking around on the hill and at some point swing around its arms. So was it a Sasquatch, a man, or something else?
Okay, hold on. For fuck's sake. Hold on. First off, let me qualify something about what he said. He said it was in Mission, BC. Well, I have been there, and let me tell you that out in the fields and in the bush where he is in this video, there's a lot of marijuana grown. So,
I'll tell you what.
And I mean a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of space out there.
Because that is for sure a fucking human being rooting around for something.
Do you know the thing that me, I have to say, the gait, the bipedal gait of a human is almost unmatched by anything else in nature for very specific reasons of evolution. The idea that a Bigfoot would end up by pure accident having exactly the same gait is essentially unfathomable because it hasn't had the same evolutionary path to get it to where it's supposed to be living. Like, we evolved having to do long distance stuff on the plains, as AB was sort of pointing out, and that's given us really high capacity for long distance walking, jogging, and chasing after things, a bit like, say, wolves do. Whereas other apes technically, or sort of specifically, haven't had those same sort of traits because of the way that they live. Now, I can't imagine that unless Bigfoot coexisted with humans for millions of years in a really obvious way, that there's any way that that sort of creature could just be walking straight on, upright like that, with the sort of the absolutely straight-backed gait that is just unmistakable. You know, have you ever seen any animal that walks on 2 legs that walks anything like a human?
No. Right, and the thing is there can be no primate in the animal by a long jump of evolution to be able to stroll like that.
Exactly.
We're not talking about a step in evolution that's very close to the primate. We're talking about something that's fully evolved and just happens to have ape-like qualities physically. That's just, it doesn't seem to match up very well. Go ahead, Jut. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, as our resident simian, we do need your opinion on this, I think, Jut.
I'm telling you now, right? I fucking know, and that ain't no fucking monkey. And it certainly isn't a fucking drunk one. Stoned, maybe.
Yeah, thank you. Well, see, look, that's the proof positive that you need. We've got an
Well,
actual member of the Simian Kingdom to tell us.
But
Yes,
that's also the other thing, right? It's because we're talking about the bipedal thing, right? There's a
Sure.
bipedal thing which gives us the advantage to run long distances and at great speeds, relatively. But inside a forest where all these yetis seem to be found, that is,
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I mean, I could be completely wrong on this, but I don't think there's a massive evolutionary advantage to
Quite.
evolve a bipedal mode of transportation.
Well, this is it.
In the
It's funny. We'll bring this up in the round table at the end because, funnily enough, I've got a bit of a sort of a dirty secret when it comes to Bigfoot. So we'll push on with this and get through the last video because we've only got about 5 or 6 minutes left, and I really want to hear what people have to say. So let's press play, shall we?
Yeah, okay.
Number 11, Provo Canyon Bigfoot encounter. When the YouTuber going by the name of Beard Card went camping with his friends in Provo Canyon, they allegedly saw Bigfoot.
As Logdog said earlier, it's the bloody Blair Witch Project all over again, isn't it? You get this blurry, terrible picture of something way off where you can barely see it, and just when it might come into view, oh, well, let's run away instead of just quietly keep filming it, you know? Like, no one's worried about a Bigfoot attacking, are they? Everyone's all seen them just walking lazily away.
It's clearly not attacking them. No,
yeah,
it's
so I think Golden Skeptic
doing
actually
something, so you
posited
just
a
keep
good.
just stay still and film it.
Oh, yeah.
I think Golden Skeptic
Sorry, AB,
posited
go
a
on.
good one.
Yeah.
He asserts that it actually looks like a godless engineer looking for a burger.
Let's not. It's too easy. No more low hanging fruit. All right.
You
Thank
can't. You can't prove otherwise.
Yeah, experts have determined through careful analysis. What do I know, right? Right, let's go. Let's play again.
Let's give her.
According to the description of the video, they had seen some deer up on a hill that they wanted to get a closer look at, but that's when they saw what they thought was a bear until it stood up. In the clip, they run straight to the car, leaving their tent and everything behind. When talking to local station Fox 13 News, they said that they had no idea what the creature was.
Along with that, people are like, well, maybe there's just some guy in a gorilla suit out there scaring people, and we're like, up there right now, I guess it's deer hunting season, so there's tons of hunters everywhere up there, and so we highly doubt that there's anyone up there hiding in a gorilla suit with all these hunters all over.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, but
does somehow saying it to Fox 13 News make it legit? Just because you're an idiot with a microphone stuffed in front of your face doesn't make it fact.
Quite.
Did you hear the way that was said? Did you hear the way that was said?
Yeah. Anti-Flatter, sorry, what was it you were trying to say, mate? Because I want to call you and Logtrog up, actually. I haven't heard from you guys in a while. What do you think, Anti-Flatter?
No. It's just about Dick's comment there about idiots with microphones in their mouths. So like that's kind of what we're doing.
Well, yeah, occasionally we have got those problems, but we're working on it, and we know it's an issue. So at least you can say we're trying, right? What about you, Logtrog? You got anything to say?
Yeah, he said, well, we thought it was a bear until it stood up, but none of us has ever seen a bear stand on its hind legs, right?
Right, quite. Well, okay, now let's play the rest of this video because I want to get a quick round table in before we move to the next
Bigfoot,
section.
but they still ruled out the possibility of the creature being a bear.
Wait for it. This isn't our fault. This is YouTube's fault.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh, what's it gonna say?
Boring me. What's going on? Look a pig.
It's got to be the ultimate proof, and we're being censored.
That's the entire video.
Oh, that's
is that
just up to
it?
the end, is it?
Oh,
well,
that's my goof up.
Look, before it all goes crazy, I want to do a quick round table. I'm going to ask each one of you one by one.
Start with AB because he had something there.
Yeah, AB, what do you have to add, man?
Quite much nothing.
Oh, oops.
Right. I was just commenting that the suspense was killing me. I was expecting there to be more, but then again, I mean, what could it be more of? The same amount of nothing that this video has shown so far.
All there have been some bald fat-assed assertions as well. It has said that this stuff's definitely true several times.
Yeah, I mean, he says that these alleged sightings, and quite often he uses the word alleged, they are definitely true.
Yeah, they've been confirmed.
Incongruous, maybe?
Slightly. Jetmark the Drunk Monkey, I want to hear what you have to say, man, because you've been quite angry all the way through this.
Having problems with the well, you know, I'm a monkey. I've got a fucking bottle in one hand and a banana in the other.
You're still struggling with the thumbs. I'll tell you what, mate. I'll come back to you in a second. Let's find out what Dick Dawson's got to say about the situation. What do you think, man?
Well, I, for one, applaud the effort of such crappy costumes and poor video making into something that a complete fucking numpty could watch on YouTube and go, yeah, man, well done. I've seen it now. Hey, pass me that doobie, man. No, the bigger one. Yeah, look, it's Bigfoot, you know?
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. You know, it's just... What? Come on.
Yeah,
you know?
man, we need better than this. How about you, Logical Troglodyte? What do you think?
All right, I'm going to throw a little logic into this. I mean, all right,
knowledge.
Critical thinking, right? So we have people out in the woods with cameras who are prone to conspiracy theory thinking, and in some areas we know the woods are loaded with marijuana plants, so we see shadowy figures, and of course it has to be Bigfoot. For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake. I agree entirely. Everybody take a big fat drink.
Oh my god, but the beer is too expensive to down.
We'll just take a healthy enough swig to justify the phrase then. Okay, who have I got next on the list? How about you, Anti-Fladder? What do you think about this, man?
No, I'm just trying to get that song, you know, Hey Hey with the Monkeys out of my head now.
So you've not been convinced that Bigfoot might be a real thing then, no?
Oh, I've been convinced that people don't know how to use their fucking cameras. And they can't to save themselves.
I think you're right there, man. Absolutely. Right, who have we got next on the list? Who have I not spoken to already? Is there anyone left? I think I've got you all.
It's pretty light today.
No, you missed me, didn't you? And AB Science.
Oh, that's right. I had to come back to Jetmark the Drunk Monkey first. How about you then, mate?
Well, firstly, Flatter, monkeys. What's your fucking problem with monkeys, mate? I'll fucking give you a right mouthful, and you know I will. As far as that, right? That, I'm telling you, is just fucking... It's not even a really good attempt at convincing anybody. You know, it's so shit that... Is it a joke? Is it just someone playing around and the video's been taken out of context even, you know? Someone's gone, oh yeah, this is me mate pissing around, or oh, I'm literally filming a hoodie, and then he films off because I thought he was up to something, put it on the internet, someone's gone, oh look, that looks like a fucking Yeti or a fucking, it wasn't a monkey, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, fair enough, mate. Well, look, I'm sure I've got through all the list now because I asked AB Science first, and you were just nonplussed by the whole thing as well.
Yeah. But I suppose that you know, there's a question because this is something that does interest me.
Sure.
Because I find the whole cryptozoology, it's quite interesting. It's
sure,
you know, it's quite nice and harmless. And you said that you had a dark secret around this. Do share.
Well, this is it. It's not too evil, really. But if I'm completely honest, I'm not convinced that Bigfoot doesn't exist. I'm actually of the opinion, like Sir David Attenborough, I should point out, that it is at least still possible. You see, we know for a fact that there were 7, 8, 9 different kinds of coexisting hominids, and that Bigfoot broadly falls into the category of a hominid creature, and that there are parts of the world so remote even yet that no one has explored them. It did take us 80 years to find the panda, after all, having heard about it and thinking it was just a myth. So it is within the realm. possibility that something like that exists, but nothing that I have seen tonight convinces me anything more than people buy suits, get their cameras out, and try to fool people. Sorry.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that actually, because even though it is extremely unlikely,
Sure.
there are still large mammals which haven't been discovered. It was quite recent actually that
Yes,
another
yes.
large mammal was discovered. So there is a possibility that large mammals like this are undiscovered, but as
But
you
this
say,
ain't it, man.
this is not fucking it.
This is not it. Absolutely.
The
What was
thing,
that shamble?
the thing is, they're not. They probably are have not. They've not been discovered because.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Jack,
this
Mike,
is
you're cutting in and
supposedly
out
been
again.
discovered. What? Why haven't?
Is it just me? He's just cutting in and out, or?
Yeah, no, he's jumping in and out a
How am I
bit.
coming across now? How am I coming across now?
It's a bit mixed. We'll give you one more go, but then I might have to move on and see if you can fix the mic.
No, I'm just saying something that size. If you filmed it so many times, it's been seen so many times, then why not haven't we tracked it, or somebody would?
Yeah, quite. There's got to be something better.
It's been spotted here, and something that big being caught on camera as many times as that would have been tracked and found by now, is what I think.
Yeah, you can guarantee someone would have had a bounty for a prize that important, right? AB, I'll let you have the last comment. We're going to have to move on, okay, mate?
And that's the point, right? It's we have all these sightings from all over the world. We have them in America, we have them in Nepal, and we have them in Russia. And if an animal is that widespread
something about
over
Russia.
the globe, we
Sorry, AB, go on, mate.
If an animal is that widespread all over the globe, we expect a pretty decent population size.
Yeah, quite.
And they wouldn't be so elusive if there were so many of them. But anyway, let's move on to the next bit.
That's an excellent point. Well made. Thank you very much. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't sound half so damn professional. So I'm now going to pass over to Dick Dawson again. You're going to introduce the next part of the show, right?
Well, I do believe it's time for the news, is it not, Jim?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a pause from the proceedings and cut to our very own Babes Troglodyte, the reporter in the field and in their studio, to bring us the weekly idiot report. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut right to Babes Troglodyte.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shills Halftime Idiot Report. Babes Troglodyte reporting. Our story tonight, and I mean there seems to be no escape, folks, from Daniel Pratt. On June 22nd of this year, Danny Pratt announced his retirement from the Flat Earth debate, citing his advancing years and wanting to focus on his children's education. This reporter thinks it's an understandable and worthy goal. Count your fingers on one hand, folks. That's 5. Yes, just 5 days later, Daniel had a change of heart. Here to tell us more is the man himself, Daniel Pratt.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to stop, but it's still just fucking hilarious to me. How does one guy in his garage have so much power? I can make these fucking monkeys dance at will. At will.
Excuse me, Daniel. What does monkey disco have to do with your change of heart?
Even by stop talking about the flat earth. They can't stand it. They're flipping out. How many fucking videos about me came out today? How many, if you counted up the total subscribership of fucking monkeys on the internet desperately trying to paint me as crazy, you would easily get over 200,000 subscribers combined from all the different channels. I mean, most of the channels people haven't even heard of. Most of the videos people haven't even seen.
200,000 subscribers? Well, don't we have an inflated sense of ego?
Of the weekly hit slander videos put out about little old me in my garage. The question I still have is, if there's some fucking guy crazy as shit sitting in his garage talking about how the earth is flat, Why the fuck is there such a concerted effort to brand him as crazy?
Have you considered the possibility that it actually is crazy to make multiple flat earth videos from your garage like it's some sort of lab?
Why are you people so worried about some supposed lunatic sitting in his garage? Now, just making candles and candle accessories.
Daniel?
No.
Terry!
No!
Terry! What are you doing? Terry!
No.
Stop!
No!
You can't consume all of our stupid guests or we won't have any left. Well, fine. Carry on.
No! No! No!
And now, back to you, Jim Bojo, with the Shills live show.
Thank you very much indeed, babe. That was excellent stuff. Now, let's see. I'm going to hand straight over again to Dick Dawson for this one. He's going to introduce the next part of the show.
Yes, Jim Bojo, thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up next is Creator's Corner, and we have an unbelievable creator to show you tonight. This is Jeff, otherwise known as Steaming Cup of Reason. And now he's got about 88, 89, 90 subs at the moment. He's just come out, couple of videos on his channel, and this guy's kicking it. He's got the humor, he's got the science, he's got the explanations, and the videos are put together fantastically. So, if Mr. Look-a-Pig is ready, let's cut right to the Steaming Cup of Reason video. We'll show you some of what he's got to offer, and then we'll get him on the show and we'll talk to him a bit. Let's get to it.
Oh, hello there. I see you have returned for more of my brand of flurf ridicule. Glad to see you again. Today's video should be a fun one. Just give me a minute. I was just fucking with some flurfs. Be right back.
Yeah, man. That's some good helium. That is the shit. Man, take another hit of that. Oh, fuck! God damn it! That's 2 satellites I've lost this week. Fuck! Ah, damn. Now I gotta find another one.
Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Since I started following the popular debunkers of Flat Earth over a year ago, I have heard some real stupid shit. But today, I want to cover one that is beyond stupid. Satelloons. The fucked up notion that satellites are just helium balloons in the upper atmosphere. I ask you, how much of a hollow-skulled fuckwit do you have to be to believe that horseshit? Only flurfs are capable of that caliber of stupid. They have absolutely no fucking clue what they are spewing out of their pie holes. So listen up and get your heads out of your asses, you bunch of evolutionary accidents. This is going to be a basic lesson on satellites. We'll start with the Navstar satellite constellation. The Navstar Global Positioning System currently has 31 active satellites orbiting the Earth, about 20,000 kilometers up from the Earth's surface, inclined 55 degrees to the equator. And you retarded plunkers really think they are balloons? I mean, really? The largest balloon ever to go up had a 1.7 million cubic meter helium capacity, with a maximum payload capacity of 750 kilograms. And the highest altitude it ever attained was just under 50 kilometers. Low Earth orbit doesn't even start until 160 kilometers, you ignorant butt pickles. Do you brain-farting morons even have a clue how many helium balloons it takes to lift just 1 kilogram? Allow me to do the impossible and try to teach you dumb fucks. Helium can lift just about 1 gram per liter. An average-sized helium balloon with a diameter of about 30 centimeters, that's your average party balloon, holds about 14 liters of helium. An average person is about 80 kilograms. That means you would need 80,000 liters of helium to do the job. Do the math, you ignorant fuckwits. 80,000 liters divided by 14 liters per balloon means you're going to need 5,714 balloons. A satellite like the Navstar Block 3 weighs in at 1,800 kilograms. That would require 1,800,000 liters of helium to get off the ground, which means you would need about 128,571 balloons. And that's just for one satellite. Navstar uses 31 satellites and would take an astonishing 3,985,701 balloons. If you equate that to the UHABs I mentioned earlier, you would need 3 of them for each satellite, and you still wouldn't get anywhere near low Earth orbit. Never mind outer space. Starting to get the picture, you fucking donkeys? I doubt it. You thick fucking twats can barely work out what end of the pasta to start eating your spaghetti from. I've left links to the Navstar Global Positioning System and the Raven Aerostar UHAB in the description. Go read them and learn something for once in your miserable flurf existence. It baffles the mind how people like flurfs made it into the human race. It's like those shitheads were fucking around in the tree of evolution, and a couple of the clumsy turds fell out a couple of millennia too early and started breeding. I guess stupid does grow on trees. Well, that's it for this video. If I drop any more education on these dumb fucks, they'll start shitting themselves, and I'm the one who has to clean up the mess. Before I go, however, I do want to take a moment for a couple more shoutouts. First, I want to give a huge shout out to the Logical Troglodyte. You have really been an awesome supporter, and I just wanted to say thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Canadian Thomas. You made some really great comments about my channel during the End the Conspiracies live stream. I thank you very much for your very vocal support and for your gracious help in getting my audio issues sorted out. Thanks, mate. And finally, I would like to add my congratulations to a Marvel Girl on the launch of her channel. So glad you joined the fun. Links to all of their channels are in the description as well. Also, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you've enjoyed my content. And don't forget to chime in on the bell icon to get notifications of new content when I post it. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and remember, never be afraid to speak your mind. Just think before you do it. Until the next one, Sin Chow for now.
Okay, brilliant. Well, that was excellent stuff. Thank you very much. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that clip was 3 minutes and 33 seconds long exactly, which is spooky, almost as if someone knew. Anyway, all of the guys here have been singing your praises for a while back at the secret underground Shill base, so it was only natural we'd invite you on the show to ask you about it firsthand. So I'd like to introduce to everybody, it's Jeff Spikers, otherwise known as Steaming Cup of Reason. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Thank you very much for coming to join us. We've all been looking forward to talk to you. Basically, just want to ask a few simple questions, and I'll let the gang answer one or two. Very simple. Firstly, could you describe to people how you would describe what it is that you do?
Well, basically all I wanted to do was create a site where I can just express my personal opinion about things. It's not a debunking site. I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination. But sure. I do have some pretty strong feelings about some of this stuff that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be able to express it in my own colorful way.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Yeah, you do remind me. You've got an almost like jump monk charm to you occasionally. I think you two have been in contact at one point, haven't you?
I love that monkey. He's my favorite monkey on the YouTube.
Obviously a little bit rubbed off on you two then. Brilliant. How long exactly have you been making content for, just out of interest?
I haven't really been doing it for long. I put up my first video about a month ago, really.
Okay.
Been thinking about it for a long time, but finally I'm live, so look out.
Lovely stuff. And just what was it made you want to actually start doing it in the first place? Was there a trigger particularly, or have you been planning it for a while?
Actually, the biggest trigger for me was when I watched the video from Mark Sargent talking about the fake moon landings. That pissed me off, and I just had to start a channel, and I'm glad that I finally managed to work my way to my latest video about that very subject.
Oh, well, that's brilliant news. There's sort of a circularity to it. Well, I'm going to just ask a couple of the guys in the crowd here whether or not they wanted to ask anything. How about you, Anti-Fladder? Did you want to say or ask anything?
Oh no, I'm just thinking your name, a steaming cup of reason, right?
That's right.
Have you ever thought of having a steaming cup of allegedly Dave instead?
I think I'd rather not.
Sorry, I've been wanting to say that for a while now, mate.
Ouch! That's a nasty cup nobody needs.
Yeah, my glass.
Oh, I can't even hear him. I'll tell you what, let's move on to Logical Troglodyte, see what he's got to ask. You got any questions, or did you just want to say hello?
Oh, I just want to say hi. I first ran into Steaming Cup's channel when he had like 15 subscribers on it. I might have been his 15th subscriber. And I laughed the entire time watching every single one of his episodes. Great job, Jeff. And it's been a joy watching your channel grow. You'll be over 100 before the night's out, I hope.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, I second that motion. It's really great stuff.
Really
what about you,
appreciate
Jack the Drunk Monkey? How about you, mate? Because you've been working with him a little bit. What do you have to say?
Well, Jeff watches my videos, and that's how I knew him. And
nice.
he said he was going to make videos, but I never sort of put the two and two together. So I found it probably the same time as the Logical there, maybe 13, 14 subs. But
Sure.
no, you know, and fucking straight away, man, I thought, am I listening to a brother or something here? You know, fucking. And I even said it when I wanted to mirror his video, and I said, I'm not the only one with the fucking minerals to call you fucking morons, a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah, man. I remember you
Damn
coming to the
straight.
chat and said that. Sorry, go on, mate.
Brother from another mother.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
right.
it. Absolutely. We will definitely, we spoke about it, and we will do something.
Indeed.
It's
forward to it.
official. It's official. When?
I look forward
we
to
won't
that.
say, because I don't know.
Okay. Well, look, I haven't asked AB Science yet. Have you got anything you wanted to add? I can't see him, and I can't see Dick Dawson. They're both muted out of chat, so I think we're probably going to have to move on rather than leave lots of dead air around the place. But I will turn to Turquoise Laura and say, have we had any questions or comments at this point that you'd like to add?
Not at the moment. Sorry.
No, that's fair enough. I just thought I'm going to keep checking up just in case there's anything. And don't forget, anyone listening, if you have any questions, have any comments, just at Laura or put someone on the team. We're bound to see it, and get the message to us, and we're happy to read out any questions or comments that you have. Right, thank you very much indeed, Jeff. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely welcome. Now, firstly, anyone out there who hasn't already should get straight over there and sub. Obviously, he's got this brand of. Yeah.
Can I
Dawson,
jump
you're
in
back.
here?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I had something going on there. I was wondering if Jeff wouldn't like to join us for the second debunk.
Well, now this is it. I was going to bring that up just in a moment's time, but yeah, absolutely. What I wanted to say basically was, obviously, thank you very much, Jeff, for joining us, and everyone who's out there in the audience, you need to get over to his channel because he has this he's got this brand of wit that I struggled trying to find words for it. I've got acerbic. I wrote down confrontational. I wrote down highly addictive. But at the end, I couldn't find a way to put it all together. I just wanted to say thanks very much for coming, and would you like to join us in the debunk of our second video?
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, you'd be more than welcome to. In which case, I'm going to pass you back to Dick Dawson now. He's going to give us a bit of an intro, I think, aren't you?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, along with our special guest Steaming Cup of Reason, we are going to look at a very unique video. What am I supposed to say about this? This is absolutely ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, we have UFOs in the rings of Saturn. How do you say that with a straight face? This is ridiculous. So, Peg, look at Peg. Are you ready? Can we roll this? Let's get this going.
Right. Can I just quickly say something before we roll?
Yeah.
Because I was given this by someone who believed it.
Really? That is extraordinary. I hadn't realised. I thought you just turfed it out in your normal searching routine.
No, this was around a friend of mine's house, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, flat earthers are idiots. He said, but like, check
But
this one out,
this-
and you want to look into this. So
Oh
I
my
fucking
God.
just stuck it in YouTube. But he was like trying to tell me about it, and I just thinking, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Man, I hope you flung
Anyway.
shit at him till he ran away. For God's sake.
I rubbed it in his face.
Unbelievable.
Rubbed it in his face, and then laughed.
Good, excellent. Just what he needed. Look, I'll give it back to Dick Dawson, or possibly over to Pig, just to hit play, I suppose, if it's ready to go.
Yeah, Pig can just handle it. Let's do it.
This isn't the first time that the scientist has made such claims, but he warns that the situation is critical, with living alien spaceships in our solar system proliferating faster than ever. Dr. Norman Bergrun, a distinguished mechanical engineer at NASA's AIM Research Center, is once again making headlines for his argument that extraterrestrial life exists within the Earth's solar system, arguing
Hold
that
on. Sorry, just a moment. Did he say mechanical engineer? So what's he doing looking through telescopes? I mean, my point is, what exactly is it about being a mechanical engineer from NASA that qualifies him to look at astronomical photographs and determine, extraterrestrial life?
Yeah, do you know?
Okay,
Go for it.
There is also something else about this, mechanical engineer or not, right? He is making a statement that it is, likely that, or at least that there's a good possibility that extraterrestrial life may exist in the solar system. This is generally scientific consensus, right? This is the idea that it is pretty likely that there's extraterrestrial life in the solar system, but
Enceladus, Europa, anywhere where we think there might be an ocean, possibly Mars, and even Venus is atmosphere at the right pressure.
But there's a difference between extraterrestrial life, a couple of single-celled organisms possibly lying around, and a thing that can build a fucking spaceship and invade us with their laser beams and eat our brains, right?
You think we'd notice radio signals at some point if something around Saturn had grown an enormous spaceship? There'd have been a few elements of technology we'd have picked up on the way while we were developing TV, I think.
We kind of would have figured that out after we sent all those probes taking lots of pictures of the fucking place.
Yeah, quite, at the least.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting fact that we do know is that it loses 2 tons of its mass, the rings, to the gravity of Saturn every second.
2 tons, good lord, that is a lot.
2
I mean, I know
tons
there's something like
every
20
second.
quintillion tons of ice out there, so there's a good while before it runs out, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
2 tons is a small American car from 1974.
When you're looking at a potential moon that's just been shattered around the thing, you know what I
Right?
mean?
That's a huge hunk of weight, man. That's
fuck
huge.
Well, my understanding is that the Earth adds actually far more weight than that in a given day, I think, isn't it?
Well, its atmosphere loses tons, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
but
we
the
lose tons,
accretion.
but we also take on a huge amount as well. So, like, the net, I don't know, it's net gain. The net gain of it is an extraordinarily high figure. I mean, it's sort of a wonder the planet's not growing noticeably, but it really isn't because it's such a big place.
AB, do you know the rate of addition to landmass that comes from space itself? Is that factored in to geology at all to dictate the rate of time advancement due to the layers? Is there a correlation there?
Very simple answer to that, and that is you're gonna have to ask a geologist and not a physicist.
Yeah. I was just wondering if it ever. I was just wondering if you ever crossed paths with that in the past.
It is worth pointing out that every time a meteorite hits and spreads a layer of, for instance, iridium around the local area, it is measured in the geography. We do use things like the 5 million year old event there. That's technically us gaining mass from space and it adding a layer to geology. I'm not sure if it quite is used in the same way with space dust, because proportionally it's quite small to what's added by like soil and rock erosion and things like that.
Oh yes, very much.
You have to consider things like what are we accreting, but what are we losing as well, right? Because any kind of gas particle in the atmosphere that has a velocity over
17,500 miles an hour.
11,000 kilometers per hour has the capacity to escape, because it has reached the escape velocity.
Exactly.
The capacity to escape to another planet and everything. So we have the you have the Earth gathering up a load of shit, but it's also losing stuff in the atmosphere.
Yeah, we can get into transpermia there.
Wow,
God,
quite. We all know the building blocks of
transpermia
life
is
are
just
found on comets.
horrible cheat.
Oh, I know, because all it does is pass the buck, doesn't
I
it,
think that
AB?
one's that, yeah.
All it does is pass the buck.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well,
that's the
look,
thing.
gentlemen, we've got plenty of video left.
Yeah.
If it's all right, I think I'll hit play
Yeah,
for a minute or two.
okay,
before we
let's
come off
get-
again. Okay.
Norman Bergrun, a distinguished mechanical engineer at NASA's AIM first spotted in Saturn's rings are proliferating to other planets that have rings, including Uranus and Jupiter. Quote, "What I found out is these things inhabit Saturn. That's where I first discovered them, and they're proliferating. You can find them around Uranus and Jupiter. Wherever you see some rings, that's where I see the aircrafts. I call them a ringmaker."
Hold on.
Listen.
Just very, very quick point of order. Aircraft, this is the second time that's fucking happened. Are you people retarded? Aircraft flying air, spacecraft flying space. Let's get it right, people. Sorry, moving on.
Sorry, Jimbo, I was going to pipe up then when you stepped down and said, I thought, crack on, because you are the aircraft guy after all. But, those tracks in the rings are caused by moons. It's quite easy to find it. It's quite easy to find this shit out. In fact, I didn't find it out. I watched it on television.
Nice. Yeah, there's tidal
And,
effects,
you know, the
essentially.
great,
Actually,
the
I
great
think it
Brian
is.
Cox, and I trust him.
Brian Cox is just doing a thing on that at the moment,
The
isn't
planets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was brilliant.
he?
I learned a lot from that.
I vaguely remember someone telling me about it. It's like, yeah, they were talking about this, they were talking about that. I was like, hold on, that's all wrong.
Yeah.
Because actually the show does present a few things where I haven't watched it myself, so I don't know if it's the show's presentation or the guy's interpretation of the
Sure.
presentation. But from what that guy says, it seems like they presented a few things as scientific facts rather than we have a rough idea that this may be the case.
Yeah.
'Cause I believe they talk about the origin of Saturn's rings, and they talk about
Yeah.
a hypothesis about how they're formed, and that
Indeed.
seems quite, to me, it seems quite credible and it makes quite a lot of sense. But
Sure.
yeah, it's not enough.
No, indeed. Then this is always the point here. I will push on in a moment because actually the second half of this part of the video is the really interesting part for us to cut in on. But essentially there's just a lot of baseless claims right now. A lot of I saw this and I'm convinced by that without much demonstration so far. Obviously we can't see it in the chat here again, but that means that I'm sort of guessing along. But as far as I'm aware so far, it's just been some sort of vague claims about the guy by a second party, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, let's roll on for now, shall we?
Go.
Let's kick it.
End quote. Explained by Dr. Bergrun. Quote, "I say that it is electromagnetic because I can identify streamlined patterns with respect to it that I knew were what we called potential lines, and that says it was electrical," end quote, said Dr. Bergrun. Quote, "I could tell that those lines demarked the outside of an object," end quote. The scientist argues that some of the footage near the ring show exhaust emanating from alien.
There we go.
Exactly. The things are
This
getting.
bit is what we've all been waiting for. Every single one of us is going to get a chance to talk on this, and I'm going to start with the two quietest amongst us. Firstly, anti-flatter. What do you see in those rings? Do you see a high-speed, complex interstellar spacecraft?
Yeah, no, there's a Klingon bird of prey sitting there. If you look closely enough, you'll see the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah, very good. Right, no, in all seriousness, no. What do you see? Come on. Can you see his point, or does it look silly to you? Because to me, come on.
Oh, it looks stupid. There's no other way. There's no way he could come to that conclusion.
It is ludicrous, isn't it? And how about you, Longtrug? What do you think about this?
I think he took some pictures and blew them up to the point that it lost all resolution and you can't frickin' tell. The Cassini pictures that I've seen definitely showed a larger piece of something, an asteroid or a larger chunk of ice that were in I think it was the B ring that was moving through, causing turbulence with the rest of the smaller particles, but nowhere in those crystal clear images did I see anything that remotely resembled an alien craft. I think this guy's been reading 2001 Space Odyssey, which contrary to the movie, in the book actually happened at Saturn, not Jupiter. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Now, one of the great things about being a member of the Shill, such as I am, is it means I get to have great conversations behind the scenes with all of you chaps, right? Every single one of you has provided me with hours of useful commentary, and that's why I'm going to interview you all at some point. But today, me and Logical Troglodyte were discussing this very video, and you've had some really interesting things to say. And I think the one point that I want to highlight that you said is that, I don't know, but everyone in the chat who has seen pictures from Cassini, which I assume most of the nerds amongst you have, will remember how clear and precise and beautiful those pictures were as they sent that spacecraft through an actual gap in the fucking rings. Now, it angers me enormously that they can get away with this, blowing a picture up to the point where it's a blurry mess, putting a bunch of labels on it and saying because aliens, because not only do you not see fucking anything in that photo, he's just put some random words on, but two, it's a matter of 17.5 seconds to get on Google and find a picture in such high resolution it embarrasses modern day cameras. Jutmonk, what did you have to say?
Well, the thing is, there's still active moons, geologically active moons within the ring.
Within the rings, exactly. Yeah,
like that could have been that could have been filmed at another wavelength, and then it's been downloaded and then fucking uploaded and compressed, and you know what I mean. And then you've got that.
Yeah,
and it's not even, you know what I mean. It's another wavelength possibly, and that's possibly the moon. You know what I mean.
Who knows what sort of madness has been done to that crappy fuzzy mess? I mean, literally, it doesn't necessarily. It could have been 2 white lines on a road compressed out of all existence. Like, who knows, really? When we've all seen better photos of the Saturn's rings than this. I've seen amazing things. The Cassini division is one of the best photographed things in the solar system because we put a spacecraft literally in it. I'm sorry, I'm really enraged.
Or it could be with the amount of photographic resolution loss, Bigfoot originates from Saturn.
It's not spacecraft proliferating, it's big feet or Bigfoots or whatever the correct. Brilliant. All right, so I'm going to ask everyone. I did say I was going to ask everyone. Canadian Thomas, are you out there anywhere, mate? He's not quite. So shall I try AB Science?
Yeah, I just want to put a credit where credit is due for that comment about Bigfoot. That actually did come from Stupid Monkey. So in the chat, Stupid Monkey, yes, that's it. That made us giggle. Now the thing that pisses me off about what they're saying is they're just going electromagnetic lines. It's just fucking stupid, right? Because whenever some idiot wants to talk about something magical, they just use the word electromagnetic. And they just try and make a show. Yeah, it is definitely that, because none of you people actually understand what electricity and magnetism actually do. So this is just a magical word that you would have heard of in sci-fi movies. And if I just say that word, then I sound clever and you lot will believe me.
Indeed. Well, look, now what I'm going to do, AB, is I'm going to bring this subject up once we get to the end of this video in our little round table. So I'm cutting you off now specifically so I can get you to elaborate on the point further on, if that's all right. I'm going to just kick over to the last couple of people. Firstly, have we got Dick Dawson back in the room yet?
Yes, we do. And
can you see a spaceship?
Yeah, well, what am I supposed to say to this? Okay, the idea that that we're zooming in on something wow and fantastical and whatnot is laughable. I have cosmology is one of my armchair things, right? This is what I really like in life. And I have followed Cassini in and out, back and forth through its entire mission, salivating like one of Pavlov's dogs at every image that comes in, you know? And this is just laughable bullshit.
Quite. Okay, well, look, that was an entirely erudite and eloquent response, and I think it made the point perfectly. The last person we've got to ask is Monk the Drunk Monkey, who's fucking furious, clearly. What do you think, man?
Look at it. It's fucking, as everybody said, For fuck's sake, man. Whoever's put this up right, I'd like to just fucking drag him outside and go, look. Can you see the moon? Clear as fuck.
Right.
What? You know what I
I
mean?
think I also heard you say those three magic words, by the way, Chapmunk. You said, for fuck's sake. So everybody in the audience,
Have a
drink. It's
drink.
time for another one. Woo! Sorry, Chapmunk, I cut you off, mate. What did you want to finish?
No, I mean, it's like, come on. Everyone's covering it. The image is fucking wank. Unless it's another wavelength and then it's out of focus because it's another fucking, I don't know. Was a shit fucking, not MP4.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
He switched it to an AVI from an MP4 and fucked it up. Yeah, nice. All right, look, I've been around the entire table. Let's hit play again because there's plenty more of this and we are going to have to cut it off before the end at this rate. So let's go.
In deep space as these spaceships continue to proliferate throughout the solar system. He explained that, in his opinion, that the aliens are, quote, nursing from their rings, end quote, garnering energy that is being used to allow them to proliferate and to power their craft.
Can I just
where is
jump
the
in there a
energy
second?
coming from?
Why the fuck are they garnering energy from rings in an ice? Surely it would be easier to land on a fucking moon made of ice.
They've got the sun up there. If they had the technology to get into orbit, they've probably got some high energy capacity devices. Granted, that is technically water, so maybe they're extracting the hydrogen from it for fuel for something, but that's like an energy-rich process that's going to require an alternate power source. You're not getting power from it. Melting ice and then electrolyzing it is a notoriously energy inefficient or energy expensive task anyway. Anyway, let's keep going. We've got a lot of video left to go, lads. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let everyone have 2 interruptions more before the end, okay? So let's press play. Choose your moments wisely.
That's where new ones are getting their energy, end quote, said Dr. Bergrun. He went on to explain that he thinks that the alien spacecraft spotted near the rings of Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus are indeed alive. So are these musings of a conspiracy theorist or a disturbed individual? Dr. Bergrun is clearly
disturbed individual, you fucking idiot.
Well said.
Just based on his
Sorry,
decorated
keep
resume
going.
with NASA, in addition to serving on the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, and also as an engineer with Lockheed Martin, working on some of the nation's most critical top-secret projects. That said, the claims do seem somewhat fantastical, if not speculative, with alternative explanations bound for the phenomenon. It is interesting to note that Dr. Bergrun advanced a similar theory, albeit with much less detail or supporting evidence, in 1986 in his book, The Ringmakers of Saturn. If he is to be believed, then the situation is critical, as the solar system becomes infested with living alien spaceships. And if he is wrong, then we all got a chance to imagine something unique for a moment.
Right, now I'm just going to hold on there and let people know that that was the first half of this video where a gentleman's ideas were described by a man. We're now going to listen to that man's ideas from the horse's mouth themselves, and let me tell you, it is some spectacular horse shit. So let's press play and see what happens.
Just before we do that, I would just like to point out that he does make a mention of, well, he presents another theory with less, but it is based on less evidence. Are you fucking kidding me? Less evidence?
Yeah, nice.
Less than
Thanks, man.
zero evidence. It's not possible.
Indeed. Actually, also, one more thing before we press play. I've just noticed that I went around the room and forgot to ask one very important member of our panel, our guest, Jeff Spiker's Steaming Cup of Reason. Are you still out there, mate?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
Did you see a spacecraft in the rings? Are we all mad?
I think we're all just a bunch of crazies. If you
Oh,
believe
okay.
there's a spacecraft in those rings, you're in worse shape than he is.
Absolutely. All right, well, we'll come back to you once more before the end, definitely. But we'll hit play for the moment. And
Can I just say to
Mike, you
Jeff-
want one more thing? Yeah.
Can I just say to Jeff, pipe up. If there's something you want to say on the video, pipe up, mate.
We get a bit rowdy in here sometimes. You might have to shout
Just
occasionally.
go, yeah, stop that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Absolutely.
Frank Condor made a very strong point that actually could back up the aliens coming to our solar system. It's the amount of ice being present They knew
Yeah.
aliens just wanted some ice for their margaritas.
Of course, space margaritas. Don't forget they're aliens.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
space margaritas,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
everything is better if you put the word space before it.
Yeah. Or sometimes I add the word 3000 to the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that
Bluetooth.
works.
Give it
Oh,
Bluetooth.
God. Yeah, of course. Right, just put wireless connectivity on it somewhere. Basically, that covers all your bases, doesn't it? Right, let's hit play on the video and move on.
That comment was from Vroom Fondle.
Oh, excellent. Well, there you go. Credit where it's due. I'll come back to the comments one more time with Laura before we
About your
finish.
theory about
Yes.
the rings of Saturn and how this all came about.
Okay, really it's not a theory. When you get down to it, you see some pictures and you finally come up with a conclusion as a matter of fact. How I got started was that in 1980, Voyager 1 had a close encounter with Saturn. And then in August of 1981, Voyager 2 had a similar encounter. And that was only 9 months apart. And I'd made copious notes on each one, and when I compared them, why there are great
Copious notes
changes.
doesn't sound a lot like copious measurements, though, does it? Just saying, it does sound an awful lot like we saw this work that all these other peoples did, and I sat down and wrote a story. Sorry, let's hit play again. That was a waste of an interruption. I've only got one more.
A couple of examples are that in the Cassini division, I guess we should explain here that there are 4 major rings in the ring system, A, B, C, and D. And between the A and B ring, there is a division called the Cassini division. That was supposed to be pure space. And on Voyager 1, it looked like that, but on Voyager 2, it was filled with matter. And that came as sort of a surprise, and it wasn't in the script. Then there was, the rings on Voyager 2 looked different. On Voyager 1, they were very smooth. On Voyager 2, you may recall they had a sort of a phonographic record kind of look to them.
Right.
And so all this happened in 9 months, but it really wasn't supposed to, because these rings were supposed to be primordial matter and static.
No.
Hold on.
That's a load
Supposed
of
to
horse
be
shit.
primordial matter. Where the hell did that come from?
Absolutely. Now, look, this is going to be my last interruption, then I'm going to use it properly, okay? So, yes, the 2 spacecraft arrived within 9 months of one another. However, they launched at a much greater gap because of the rate at which they were being built and designed. Consequently, the one that arrived second actually had a slightly different arrangement of camera and telegraphy gear, such that when it took pictures of the same stuff, it got a much higher resolution, and you could see the granularity of the rings themselves. That's where we got such fine detail on how large the particles are, where the initial photos were slightly less focused, and we're merely giving you an idea of things like size and range. Now, if that doesn't give you an obvious reason why the later photos would look more granular, then I don't know how you're evaluating photographs. It's a matter of simple research and speculation around basic scientific principles, and it's unforgivable in a man who is an engineer.
Well, and for somebody to come out with this as their gun, their loaded weapon. Here we go. Now I've got something. Come on, right?
Yeah, this is my big proof. Fuck off, for fuck's sake. Everybody take a drink. That's ridiculous.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
you know what?
again.
I'm calling for a twofer on that one, because it was so fucking stupid. I want everybody to suck it up and have a deuce. Let's go.
Okie dokie, you've got it. Right, let's hit play while we get drunk. Can we hit play? Is it frozen? Are we having a moment?
Collected there over eons, and okay, so it turned out it was dynamic, and that really caught my attention, and so I started to collect images that were in the public domain. And one of the images really fascinated me, in as much as it was very dark. It had a dark background, and I could trace the outer edge of the.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jump Monk, what?
It had a dark background. It's in fucking space.
I'm so glad you said that. So glad.
What the fuck is he expect to fucking see? He's
Oh
looking
my
out
God,
of
right?
fucking space, and it's fucking nothing but black. You
Right,
fucking
Saturn's
idiot.
so far anyway. Saturn is so far from the sun that it's barely more than a bright star. It's going to be dark out there everywhere. Every image of Saturn you see is enhanced in order to make it fucking visible. Anyone else got anything they want to add before we go on again? In it, right?
Yes,
Right,
I have
okay,
something
great.
I want to add.
Oh, look, sure.
For fuck's sake!
Come on, man. I got to get us to the end of the show. I can't keep drinking. All right, one more.
A rating on the left side. I could trace it all around, but on the right side, I just couldn't find it.
And I think that picture you have provided to us, it's on our website now, that people can take a look at. Go ahead, Norman.
Yeah, we'll be going to the website so you can get a better look at this. And so that I put this image under a microscope and broke through the dark area with a flood lamp and then photographed this.
Stop. Okay, 2 points. Firstly, I'm going to have to get Pig to tell me exactly how much is left in the video. So while he checks that, I'm going to point out that putting a floodlight under a picture and looking at it through a microscope is not really ideal technique for examining the data therein, right? I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Yeah,
Let's
why are
see, yes,
you
mate.
putting a picture under a fucking microscope? We use a microscope to take a fucking picture, but what?
Yeah, not like that. I mean, there are ways to enhance photographs, to examine them in detail, but putting a floodlight under it and microscoping it seems like a perfect way to get blurry images to me.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but are we lacking a bit of control here?
Right. Doesn't seem like a good methodology. Look, look a pig. Are
I'm
you
not
out there,
so
mate?
sure.
Look a pig. Are you out there, mate? Have you got an idea how much is left on the video?
5 minutes left.
Oh, well, in that case, we're getting too close to the end. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to cut it short at that point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the table and very quickly, if you guys could just give me a sentence on two on what you think. How about that? So we'll start with anti-flat earth. What do you think, man?
I think it's just another Muppet we've managed to stumble upon. He looks at a planet and sees fucking whatever they want.
It's a bit of fun, though, isn't it? I mean, these guys managed to see the most incredible stuff. You didn't see the spacecraft. You saw the detail of some of the photos, but not the detail on the others. What's your gut feeling on this? The guy's a liar or the guy's just a fool?
I just think he's a fucking idiot.
Ding. All right, fair point. Logical troglodyte, what do you think?
I think that this guy has had his brain removed, pickled, reinstalled upside down and backwards, and anybody who believes his horseshit is suffering from fecal brain syndrome.
I like it. Chipmunk the Drunk Monkey, come on, man, give us your best. What do you think of this fucking bollocks?
I still don't fucking understand why, if there was an alien species up there, they'd be fucking damn sight smarter than you tossers, let alone us monkeys, right? Now, why on earth would they go to all that trouble to mine the rings when there's a fucking moon there made of the fucking same shit?
Right.
Land on that.
Unbelievable.
Mine it to fuck. Why
Jesus.
are you fucking bothering the rings? Are you stupid? Are these flat earth believing fucking aliens? They've left the planet, looked at all these spheres, and they still not taking it in?
Right, now Jeff Spikers. Jeff Spikers, I thought I heard you say something, mate. What did you have to add to the pile?
I just wanted to say that this guy is an absolute moron. He's got his head so far up his ass, he needs a tonsillectomy to see daylight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but tell us how you really feel. That's what we want to know. Okay. Dick Wilson, you're equally alacrity with your responses. What have you got to say about the situation?
Well, I mean, this is just ridiculous. Come on, you know.
Right.
I personally raised an autistic child in life, right? Some people know it, some people don't. And my child at 5 years old, my child at 5 years old would have known how absolutely stupid this is. right?
You know, he's really smart, man. I don't know if he's a good control group. Your kid's so smart. Of course, he works it out at 5. He's the sort of kid who can work out how an engine works by pulling it apart at 5, right?
Well, you know, and I'm going to give him a plug right here. For everybody watching and listening right now, there's a YouTube channel y'all should check out, Autism Through My Eyes. So again, the name is Autism Through My Eyes. And it's my son's channel, and he's a 12-year-old kid with autism, and he's doing documentaries on nature and animals and their place in it and stuff, and you might like it, you know. And
absolutely, thanks for that. Go on,
I'll put a link to that in the description.
Yeah, I'll toss that link into the description after the show because it's not there right now, so we'll have to do it after, right?
Sure.
But you know, when it comes to reality, this video that we just covered is not it. So I've said my piece. Pass.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, look, now I'm just trying to think because we're going through the list of people. I asked Anti-Flatter. I think I asked Logical Troglodyte, and I've asked Canadian Thomas so far. I also gave Jeff Spikers a little comment. I think that's right, isn't it? Did you have anything more to add, or are you happy with your response so far?
I'm pretty happy with my response. It's good ammo for my next video, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see your take on that, to see the transatlantic version of Chapmunk. That would be crazy. Yeah, no, do it. Do it now.
He really is too, isn't he? That was a great description because he really is the transatlantic version of Jutmonk. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
really
look, we brought you on the show for a very specific reason. Every single member of the team at one time or another has come up to me basically independently of one another and said, have you seen this new Jeff Spiker vid that X, Y, or Z showed me? And I was like, yes, I have seen it. Yes, it is very good. I subscribed just after Jutmonk the Drunk Monkey. I think I got to you about 18, 19 subs in. I can't really remember. But yeah, he's a fantastic producer. Everyone go there after the show's finished to sign in and hit the bell.
Jutmonk, what do you got to say?
Can I just quickly say he was also my inspiration for the satellites flurf rant that I did.
Well, look, there you go, Jeff. High praise indeed.
The balloons, I was like, fucking balloons? What? Here we go.
Okay, now who haven't I spoken to so far? I'm just trying to work out. Could you shout out if I haven't asked you anything? Sounds good. So,
hold on. I got a really good comment from Al Loop.
Oh, well, that's what I'm going to ask next. Actually, is are there any comments or questions from the audience? So, it sounds like you've got one. What was it?
Yeah, Al Loop from the audience. So, Bigfoot is from Saturn. They come to Earth for the weed and go to Saturn's ring for the ice for their margaritas.
He worked it out. He's uncovered the experience. Once again, for the second episode in a row, I am now woke. Yeah. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate
you know what I'm
it.
going to do, Al Loop, if you're listening right now, I'm going to get a hold of my NASA contact as soon as the show is done. I'm going to get you on the payroll because you have figured it out.
Absolutely. Al Loop, I've been in a couple of, I think it was Al Loop I've been in a couple of the Jose Hangouts with, and man, that guy is smart. He's got great questions and he knows how to think.
Oh, yeah.
On Creators Corner for him down the road sometimes.
Yeah,
that would be cool. See what happens, right?
Yeah, we have to do that.
Now, look, I think I've asked everyone on the panel, so I'm just going to go and check with Turquoise Laura one final time. Were there any questions or comments that you noticed that you wanted to bring up?
No, you guys have been on the ball. You've seen them all. I've just got to say, though, I popped a link in the live chat for Canadian Thomas's son's channel.
Lovely stuff. Thank you ever so much. You are a treasure and an angel. And while I've got you,
you guys hear that? Hold on. I'm commanding the floor right now. You guys hear that? That is who Turquoise Laura is. She is so amazing. She found that link and popped it into the chat that fast to support a really cool little man.
Well,
she is amazing. Turquoise Laura. I want to see claps in the chat right now for Turquoise Laura. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Bring that
well, it's funny you say that because I was going to ask her. She's been watching this entire show from the sidelines here. I wondered if she had any comments of her own. Forget those from the audience. What do you think about what's been going on so far? Do you think Bigfoot now exists or that there are aliens in Saturn? What do you reckon?
Well, I do think it's very funny how the Bigfoot videos are always so shockingly shit,
Yeah, grainy and distant.
Do really silly things. It's always spot on.
Absolutely. Now, AB Science, did I ask you?
No, but I don't really have much more to say. I think we had a thing that we're gonna put a pin in and discuss later, but I forgot.
Oh, right.
Because
Yeah,
this new
no, what
for
was
fuck's
it?
sake rule has resulted in me running out of beer.
Oh,
And
dear.
I am now drinking something that's just been sitting in the back of my fridge for months now. And
It's not a glass of allegedly Dave, is it? Because that's
no,
not
no,
risky.
it's possibly worse. It is
It's
a
risky.
pale ale. It's by I shouldn't say the brand, but it's by Tiny Rebel Brewery, and it's called
Nice.
Pump Up the Jam, and it's a jam donut flavored pale ale, and it's
Why
fucking
not?
bad.
Why the fuck
Ouch.
not? Hey, look, well, look, on that note,
Ouch, it
basically,
sounds
we've all
like
had
it
our
comes
comments
from
and credits, and
America.
basically, Canadian Thomas, I'm going to come to you first. Well, sorry, Dick Dawson, as I should call you.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to know,
fine.
firstly, what are you drinking this evening?
Right tonight, I am drinking a local brew. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Kokanee. It's very similar to a Budweiser, except it's brewed with a Pilsner brew.
Ah, I see. Oh, well, that's very interesting. Now, what about saying goodbye to people? Obviously, we're all going to cheer goodbye at the end, but do you have any specific things you wanted to say, either firstly about the whole of the show in general, and secondly, did you have anything you wanted to sort of shill away for, promote, anything like that?
Well, the whole of the show, as in general, to the audience, I have seen a lot of clapping for Turquoise Laura. So thank you very much, everybody watching. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
thanks, guys. That's
You
really
guys
nice of you.
kick
Thank you
ass,
very much.
right? Number 2 for the show, we covered Bigfoot and UFOs and Saturn's rings. What the hell am I supposed to say to that? You know what I mean?
You are absolutely
Context.
right.
The people we cover
Absolutely.
on this show are batshit fucking crazy, and thank God for them because we have something to do.
Absolutely. Well, it gives us a lot to do. These weekends have been a lot of fun recently. Okay, Monk the Drunk Monkey, I see you out there in the background. You've just come off mute. I wondered if you had a couple of, a couple of things to say before we go. Just a little final thought.
Like Dick says there, I mean, what the fuck can you say? It's fucking lunacy. But, you know, sometimes I think we're running out of ideas and then another one pops up and you're like, what the fuck?
Absolutely. All right. Okay. Well, then, how about you, Anti-Flatter? Have you got a couple of thoughts to say for us when we say goodbye?
I'll come back in a second, mate. I just hit the
No
top for a second.
problem. I'll move straight on to Jeff Spiker's steaming cup of reason. Have you got any thoughts you'd like to add to the pile before we all say goodbye to everyone?
First of all, I love the Shills. I'm so glad that I was able to join in today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You guys are all my heroes, man. Like I said before, Jet Monk, my favorite monkey on YouTube. That guy just gets me going and really inspires me to try and outdo him. And
Well, that's
so far,
why
I
I
think
think
I've done
people
a good
watch your channel, actually, because I think that they'll get inspired when they see the work that you do, and obviously the work that Jet Monk does. Sorry, mate, go on.
Well, the reason I do the things I do is because I don't like to beat around the bush. If you're a
Sure.
fucking idiot, I'm going to tell you. And
Good.
I'm not going to be shy about it.
Damn right, man.
You know?
Awesome.
So,
Brilliant.
I'm just
Here,
super awesome.
here.
Steaming
What
Cup
about
of
you?
Reason.
Sure.
Let me invite you right here live on air to be one of the first guests for our upcoming midweek show where we have our guest on for an interview and a live debunk for a full 1 hour with the
Absolutely, I
guests
second that.
involved.
Yeah, you see, what the thing is, although the guests, the people watching don't necessarily know because we've only done one, is that we've got a format for the Saturday show that we stick to pretty rigidly. We do a couple of debunks and we talk to a new creator, but we've also got a midweek show that we're going to be working on as well with a couple of big names in the pipeline. People like Radical have sort of shown a slight interest, and Steve McRae has shown a vague interest. So in the future, we might have some very big names indeed. But we get to devote a whole episode basically to that individual and their work. Let them join in on a little mini debunk. There's a few little ideas there that they get to enjoy. So I'd like to second that motion, Jeff. If you'd like to, we'd love to get you on midweek sometime to have another go at the show.
I would be absolutely honored. I'm speechless.
No, you're absolutely welcome, mate. Well, look, we look forward to seeing you whenever that happens. Now, I've already lost track of the list. I'm going to go to Logical Troglodyte. We haven't spoken to you yet. Have you got anything you'd like to say when we say goodbye?
I want to thank everybody in the chat for showing up and doing all their little messages to us back and forth and to each other. It really helps our show move along. Before everybody leaves, pop over to the Steaming Cup of Reason, subscribe to him. And Stupid Monkey, who was in the chat earlier, I don't know if he still is, he just, I just got a notification, he just uploaded a new video. So after you subscribe to Jeff, go see Stupid Monkey.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how about, let's see, Chopnut the Drunk Monkey, what do you want to say goodbye?
Well, I've just noticed my mum is in the chat. And,
Hello, Chopnut's mum! Back in the rainforest. Marvelous.
Hi, Monkey Mom.
Hello.
My mum says, what about those that were kidnapped
Hi, Monkey Mom.
What about those kidnapped what, sorry?
Kidnapped by aliens.
That were kidnapped by aliens. Maybe we'll do that one day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great idea. Thank God your mum was here, man. That's a fantastic one. That's just the sort of stuff we'd like to cover.
Oh,
have you got anything you'd like to say goodbye, Jetmonk?
No, that's it, man. I said it all. It's
Okay.
It's all a pile of rubbish. It's not convincing. The first video, I mean, some of them they don't even look like they're trying to be anything but a person.
Sure.
Because that's what they are.
Well, quite. I mean, yeah, there's just no getting around a dude in a suit, is there, sometimes? Right now, I'm already completely lost. Who have I not said goodbye to? Say hello to me.
Oh, hello.
Dick Dawson.
Hi.
AB Science? AB Science, how on earth could I forget you? But to be honest, I'm actually going to put you off to the end because I know Dick Dawson hasn't said goodbye. How about you? What do you have to say? I've lost him. Are you there, Dick?
Sorry. Yes, I am.
That's
I
all
am.
right. So, do you have anything
Technical
to say goodbye?
glitch there,
Anything?
but we're all on track now. I want to say first a big thank you to everyone watching and that did watch the show. We tried to cover some good stuff, some funny stuff, and some outrageous stuff, and I'm pretty sure we got there. Now, as for Steaming Cup of Reason, oh, Jeff, thanks so much for coming on the show. Fantastic episode. Can't wait to have you on the midweek show, and we'll have something really great done up for everybody. And Jim Bojo, you are the utmost host. Take it home, brother. That was great.
Well, okay, look, what's going to happen is at the very end, obviously, I'm going to get all the scream goodbye, and Dick Dawson will join in as well. But I've got AB Science. I want to find out what you think about today's episode. Why don't you give us some scientific reasons why what we've seen tonight was utter bollocks?
Well, I mean, we looked at the Bigfoot, and you know, maybe there are some large mammals around, but yeah, that's not it, right? That's just a fucking suit.
Quite.
As it comes from the Saturn thing, it's like they're harvesting energy there. Why the fuck would they pick Saturn to do that? You could, I don't know, just set up, if you want to stay secret, you could just set up shop on the other side of the moon. And you can harvest a hell of a lot more energy from, you know, the solar radiation. Or fuck it, you could go to closer places to the sun. You could set up orbit around the sun, maybe. It's
well, here's the thing.
Silly.
If they were, don't forget that Venus, people forget this, but Venus is obviously a kind of hellhole. It's got 90 times atmospheric pressure at the surface, a sulfuric cloud sort of atmosphere that would strip us of our skin. Everyone thinks completely inhospitable. But of course, at about 50 miles in altitude, the pressure and the temperature are about equivalent to Earth. So really, sticking a couple of aircraft in orbit and then lowering them down into the atmosphere and sort of sticking around there would provide cover, because we would find it almost impossible to see them. They'd also have Earth-like pressures and temperatures. They'd be much closer to the sun for power and much closer to the Earth to keep an eye on us. Saturn is a foolish decision. There's not enough energy anywhere, be it sun, be it gas, or anything.
Well, that's the thing. You don't even need to go into the atmosphere. You could just stay in orbit, right? Because if they can travel this far across the universe, then they will have figured out semiconductor technology. Therefore, they can make solar panels. And all you need to do is set up shop in orbit around, say, Venus or something like that, or Earth, or anywhere that's reasonably hospitable.
Sure.
And
I mean, a point that you've just made, actually, that people often miss is that in order to achieve interstellar travel, you need to be capable of levels of technology that are so extraordinary that you become a Kardashev Type 4 civilization anyway. And there is no requirement to go to another solar system to get some ice. Why on earth would you travel across unending distances of space over generations of time purely to get something that exists fucking everywhere in huge quantities? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but unless you're a bit silicon-based life form with a particular penchant for margaritas.
Well, yes, indeed. You've got to have that special comet ice. Now, look, I really am lost. Is there anyone on the list that I haven't spoken to yet? It doesn't sound like that's the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to say to the people watching in general, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all a warm goodbye. Thanks for coming. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Also, hope you have a great week. Now, if you have any comments or questions or things you want to say to us, you can leave them in the comments down below and send messages to us, and we'll try and get back to them in general. And we hope that you have enough of a good time that you come back next week to watch us the next time round as well. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Dick Dawson one more time to say goodbye to us, and the rest of us are all going to shout goodbye in unison.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that has been the Silly Shill Show. We hope you've enjoyed watching us, and all we can say is goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'll see you later there.
Okay, somebody hit the button.
Quick, because I'm going to fart.
Is Pig awake?
We'd like to go home now.
We want to go home, Pig. Hit the button.
I'm hitting it. I'm sorry.
On a rotating, whirling, twirling rock in space that is just a fantasy in your head.
Comes to a light in the sky being a gas in a vacuum. Second law of thermodynamics violation, a violation of a natural law.
Of the chemtrails, they put little, these nanobot things, that come down, come inside of us.